Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Suzerain, the Kingdom of Rizia DLC. So yeah, in our session, what did we do? Oh, we saved Lucita from falling to her death. I mean, she should thank her lucky stars we were there with her. So that was hopefully keep her in line. Should remind her of that every so often. And we went to visit Rusty. That was it. We went to visit Rusty, and we might have taken a wee little bribe. I think bribe's a strong word for the kind of agreement that we came to, but hey. Suppose if you're being pedantic about things. But anyway, we start today's session here at the start, or the end of the last turn, the start of a new turn. We got the inclination as to what that new turn's going to be all about. It's going to be about us and Parley vying for the biggest slice possible of this new mega gas field that's out there. We'll see how that pans out. But before then, we've got decrees to enact. So I've had a very, very quick look down the list of decrees, and there is one that I think that we need to enact definitely sooner rather than later, because if we enact it any much later, it probably won't take effect or won't be as effective, and that is the Zeal Intelligence Hub. Now, I don't know if this would synergize with the choice that we made in relation to not allowing the intelligence services to go into Valen to investigate the bombing. I think it's a separate entity, but this is an intelligence hub in Marve Nortus, which I'm assuming is probably up near Zeal, if not in Zeal. It will be instrumental in our intelligence endeavours, gathering crucial information and conducting covert operations. It will also play a pivotal role in influencing the Rizian populace in Zeal, nudging them towards a vision of reunification and freeing the territory from Valen's grasp. So this is kind of the multi-pronged approach that we are adopting to getting Zeal back. We've got the oil situation with Rumberg now, that they're kind of using less oil from Valen because they're taking their resources from us. We're putting pressure on them now with a bit of intelligence and, stoking up the populace, as we are when we funded that little thing that Vina came up with, that idea. So we're tackling Zeal from many angles. It's not massively popular with a couple of people, and the rest are kind of neutral about it. Is this a waste of time, considering that we're already doing other things in Zeal? I'm not sure, but we're going to do it. 2 authority, 2 budget. It's going to take 2 turns for this to happen, so let's get it done. It's going to take a little bit of budget from us there. Alright, so what's next on the list? I couldn't seem to... Well, when I was reading about this whole energy situation, it seemed to suggest that if you let your energy sort of tick over negatively, although it can't go below 0, but -1 would bring it into the minus numbers. Although it might stay 0, it might cause some issues, kind of debuffs, if you will, to happen. So we're gonna spend some money on purchasing some energy, which is really stupid because we sold energy before, so it's kind of foolish, I suppose. But we didn't know that we were going to have to give energy away to Rumberg, did we? So a little small global sale just ticks it over to +1, which means we don't go down to sort of negative numbers. It's going to cost us 2 budget, which doesn't give us much budget to play with. So we're going to sign that. And that gives us a bit of energy to play with. And we're now at 0 budget. Now, I sigh because I want this. The Kalis Gold Mine. Don't forget we're getting extra shares in RRG. So this could synergize with that. It's going to cost 3 budget though. of which we have none. 1 authority, of which we have a bit, and it's going to give us +2 per turn to budget. So this purely seems to be a budgetary thing. And I did say that I don't think we're going to want for much budget once we get our naval port up in Monkeys. Perhaps we can start selling ships and stuff. But I want a gold mine. So, -3 budget. Is there anything I could sell? It's going to get me -3. That's +2 budget. Tanks is +3. 25 tanks. How many tanks do we have? We've only got 25 tanks. I mean, I don't believe we need a military. But to take it down to literal bare bones is a bit much. I think we'll hold off. We'll build the gold mine in the next turn. But in the next turn there'll be other stuff we want, I suppose. But maybe there's not. Because out of this current list now that we've got the zeal thing, there's none of these tick the boxes. I'm looking at them and thinking, not that fussed for any of these. So maybe actually in the next turn with our 7 budget, we're probably going to use budget for something during the turn, but actually we might be fine. We might be fine in the next turn. We might be fine. I do want this as well, actually. How much is that? That's 2 budget, 2 authority. Gives a boost to tourism. People love it, as in the council members. Well, 2 of them at least. Yeah. So excavation of topaz, yes. Gold mine, yes. 2 of those definitely in constructions we want. Military, obviously, we're not interested in. Global sales, not anymore if we can help it. Any of these? We were looking at residence and work permits for migrants. That could still be on the table. It's not very high budget. It's a lot of authority, though. So this could be one that gets some more workers in. If we get a bit of a worker shortage. Other than that, not jumping for joy for any of the others just yet. You know, we might placate some of the people once we get more to play with on the old resource front. But anyway, that's the Royal Decree situation sorted. New intelligence hub shrouded in mystery. In a very vague communique issued by the palace, plans were unveiled for new funds to be allocated to Rizia's intelligence services. Mentions were made of a new base of operations, although the government withheld the exact details due to national security considerations. It was highlighted that the most important mission of the administration remains the reunification of Zeal with the rest of our fatherland, and that the expanded intelligence operations feed into this goal. We, at the Royal Herald, are incredibly excited for all the spy thriller stories that surely will be written about the exploits of Rizian operatives many years from now. Oh, and apparently our expansion of intelligence operations has put Valen on edge. Ooh, it's worried their officials. Ooh. Oh, have we stoked the fires unnecessarily here? Whoopee-doo. Zeal is coming back to us whether you like it or not, Valen. We're going to continue to put pressure on you until you burst. That land is ours! Chapter 2. Between Seas. Ooh. I have completed Chapter 1. I don't know. How many hours has it taken us? It's taken me as many hours to complete Chapter 1 as it has taken 90% of the populace to finish the entire game, I quite assure you. Right, here we are, new chapter and all. Let's see what the crack is. Harvest here. Hundreds of miners enter new pit. So this is the coal mine that we funded, isn't it? Yes, look at that. So the Havas coal mine is now complete, and it now means that we get +1 energy per turn. We're back in the positive energy front. This is good news. Good news indeed. Monkeys. Coastal batteries fire has expanded. Docks open. Look at that. The docks are now open, which means in the next turn we can start selling ships and submarines. We'll be rolling in cash. Happy days. Gold mine? Have some money. Throw money at it, and when that's complete, get more money. Oh, we're going to be rolling coin. We're going to be ousted from the throne by protest and stuff, but hey, we'll be rich. And the gas field expansion has finished. So we lost -1 for industrial production, I think. Or did we lose 2 when we built the port? But we've offset that with a gas field expansion, so that's net zero. And the Havas coal line gives us that +1, so that's why we are +1. So the gas field expansion is simply powering up our new port, it seems. Right, we've got some protesters here. We'll deal with those in a second, shall we? Or shall we deal with those now? Okay, we've got a council meeting on the Parley gas dispute. That could be tasty. Right, fine. Protesters, you say? Now, if there's one thing that you should realise about our king is he placates the councillors, tries to keep them on side, does what he needs to do when he wants to get something from somebody. But when it comes to dealing with traitors and dealing with unrest, he deals with things very harshly. We've seen it in the past. We may well see it again now. Protesters, you say? What are they protesting, and what exactly are they doing? A substantial crowd has amassed at the Palace Taurus gates in Monkeys. The only saving grace is that they are in our home province, vocalising their concerns over the lack of access to higher quality education and healthcare services. Some voicing concerns with increasingly difficult living conditions. The Crown can choose to disperse them, allow their peaceful protest, or offer assurances to improve welfare spending across the nation. I don't know about that. Although welfare spending, I did say that we're going to be rolling in cash soon. What kind of a king promises protesters increased health and education funds just because they're protesting? What kind of a precedent are we setting? Protest and the king gives you what you want? Quite tempted to allow the protest to happen. These are homelanders. We've got a lot of authority. We're ticking off a lot of people already with our reign, so dispersing them by force probably is not going to go down too well. So maybe allowing them to protest might just let them feel like they're being listened to, and we might increase the health and education funding without having to make the promise. Doesn't lock us in, does it? So we'll allow the protest. We won't go and start promising stuff. I'm quite interested to see what kind of decrees when this finally disappears off my screen. Hello? I don't usually have to click these and remove them. Right, what have we got in terms of... what have we got in terms of... welfare, there we go. Increase health and education funding. Oh, it's minus 2 budget per turn. That's a per turn thing. Oof. Oof, I don't think so. If you look at welfare, are we still good? We're a good welfare state. What are people moaning about? What's wrong with them? We're a strong welfare state. Idiots. What the hell? We want better welfare. We've got the best welfare in the world, probably. Well, not in the world, but in Macopa. South Macopa, East Macopa. We got the best. What's wrong with you, idiots? We want more, though. Well, go live in Swordland and see how you like it. My God, what's wrong? Right, we've got the Havas coal mine. Job creation. The Esquisse gas field expansion. Oh, the Royal Monkeys port and shipyard. Oh, yes, state-of-the-art logistics. Most advanced of its kind, which has meant that we have high extraction volume. Oh, it's all very good. Militarily, it improves the size of our fleet. Not for long. High military manpower pool. Does that increase the manpower pool? Did it? Did it now? I didn't see what it was previously, but after this session I'm going to have a look, because if it did... well, you know what's coming next, don't you? We're going to sell some. Can you sell some manpower? You can't sell manpower, can you? Tanks, support vehicles, submarines, ships, planes. Yeah. 2 battleships required for 4 budget. Yeah, this is good. This is good. We like this. Right. Oh, after rousing speeches by local community leaders, the crowd slowly started to dissipate. You see? Just leave them to it. It'll fizzle out, and it did. Well done, community leaders. Right, excellent. We're not funding welfare whilst welfare is strong. Makes no sense to me. So, those protesters probably had nothing better to do. Get a job. Right, council meeting time. I called a council meeting in Fort Ailes to discuss our strategy in the Parley gas dispute. The city was named after its most famous building, a Valgish fortress that now served as the government headquarters for the Parley administrative district. Titus escorted me down the hallway to a nondescript conference room where Lorento, Lucita, Ilana and Hugo were already waiting. My daughter had requested to stay home this time around, claiming she was feeling unwell. Now, is she feeling unwell, or does she want me to go on my own so that she then can flit off and see Manus Sazin? I'm feeling poorly, Daddy. I don't want to go to council today. But you never miss a council meeting. Yeah, I'm just feeling a bit peaky. You never were a good actor, Vina. Right, we'll have to keep an eye on that situation. I took a seat across from Lucita. My fellow councillors were all poring over various documents. Hugo finally stood up. Good morning, Your Majesty. Should we fill you in on the situation so far? Please do. I'll take it from here. As you know, our joint team of researchers recently completed their assessment of the gas field between Parley and Rizia, tentatively nicknamed Aureus. The Rizian surveyors determined that the field lay in both Rizian and Parlesian territory. However, a few days after our team's return to port, we received the news that the Parlesians had made a different decision. Duke Reinhardt is now under the impression that the entire gas field belongs to Parley. He has ordered that exploratory drilling begin immediately. Lucita had a worried look on her face. A Parlesian drill ship departed the port of Rimaz at 0800 hours this morning. It is expected to reach the field by this time tomorrow. Your Majesty, I have advocated for caution regarding parley in the past, but this strikes me as highly concerning. I share those concerns. I mean, we do want to be still a little bit cautious here, but ultimately... Hello? They were out of line to send that ship without any further communication on this matter. A response from Rizia is certainly warranted. I called this meeting today to decide on our course of action. We have a meeting set with Duke Reinhardt in 2 days, by which time the ship will have reached its destination. It is my hope that the Polesians are still open to negotiating the field's ownership, and that this is just a tactic to give them an edge. You're getting ahead of yourself, Lorento. The king should be as informed about this dispute as possible before heading to parley. Yes, of course. You are right as usual, Miss Werner. I want to know everything I can about the disputed field. Then, where should we start, Your Majesty? First of all, why is there a dispute? I thought our maritime borders were clear. They've been shifting for the past century. The late Empire of Valgos used to control the waters between Parley and Kalkabiz, but the area came into question when the island joined Rizia in 1855. Since then, both Rizia and Parley have variously claimed ownership of these waters and the resources therein. The borders that Rizia recognises today are the ones defined by the 1942 AN Directive on Offshore Resources. According to those, the field should be split almost exactly evenly between our two nations. Ah, yes, Andor. A nation has the sovereign right to any undersea gas and oil wells located within 200 kilometres of its coast. And in the case of overlap, no one country may exploit those resources without the other's agreement. And what happens if a country violates that directive? They'd be subject to prosecution in an international court, and any military action against them would be fully justified. Technically, Parley wouldn't be violating Andor by drilling without Rizia's consent. Reinhardt's predecessors signed the directive, but the Duke has yet to ratify it. The Polesians furthermore state that as a sparsely populated island, Kalkabiz should not have the same maritime radius as mainland Rizia. How dare they disparage our island? They will pay for their impertinence. How are they going to pay? We're not going to attack them, so... But that's nonsense. It wouldn't hold up in an international court, surely. That's debatable, Your Majesty. With enough legal firepower and international support, Parley could have a case. We obviously need the gas. Do we know how much gas the field contains? We still don't have exact numbers, but the surveyors have confirmed that it's a lot. Quite possibly more than the current natural gas reserves of Rizia and Parley combined. In other words, whichever country controls the Aureus field will become Makopa's next energy superpower. Okay, what a stupid question, but I just want to hear what the answer is. Our gas reserves are dwindling. We've already expanded the Aquarius field, but obviously getting half of Aureus would yield better results, makes sense. Oh, of course. But didn't we, as President Rain, in the playthrough that we've imported, allow Rizia to have 50% stake in Gasson? Not 50% stake, half of the Was it a 50%? It was basically, we went 50-50 with Swordland, right? That's what we opened up to. So that won't be off the table necessarily in the future. But nonetheless, we still want Aureus as well. We could have lots of energy to come here. Gasson, Aureus. Rumberg, you want some more? Cut off with Wayland completely? That'd be nice. Okay. Yeah, follow up on that lead if you can. That could well be promising. It may fall flat on its face, but let's not pull the plug just yet on that one. I'll keep you posted. Sortish or otherwise, we could really use the gas to bolster our overall energy reserves. And we can't forget about the contract we signed with Rumberg. We are exporting and making good on our energy obligations already. Indeed we are, but it's crippling us, so yeah. Aureus, we need it. Even if it's just a half. Right. Lucita raised a hand. Actually, I have some additional information that could influence our response. Oh, by all means, Duchess Cesaro, go on. She took out a photograph. It showed a number of men in business suits boarding a large vessel. Our intelligence in Parley managed to get a visual on the boat before it departed. This man here is a representative from Les Power, the Lesbian Energy Corporation. Hugo stared at her coldly. I was not informed that we had active intelligence operating in Parley. His Majesty and I made the decision to establish it. Oh, we did, yes. Oh, about that, Hugo. Sorry, I forgot to inform you as well. Huh. Slipped my mind. You were involved in this, Your Majesty? I thought the Valen investigation took full precedence. I do, but I thought this was I thought this was alongside the investigation into Zeal, because the investigation into Zeal was being conducted by the Golden Guard, right? I believe the same, but she convinced me the Parley situation was worth keeping an eye on, and that turned out to be the case. Clearly. It did, Your Majesty. I would humbly ask my fellow councillors to focus on the content of these findings, not the methods used to obtain them. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Parley, Lesbia, they've been in cahoots for quite a while now. So does it really come as a surprise? What this evidence proves is that it is not Parley alone asserting its claim to the field. Lesbia, and by extension ATO, is after that gas and all the money and power that comes with it. This photo sends a different message to me. Could it be possible that Lesbia pressured Parley into claiming the field and sending the ship? And if so, can we use that fact to drive a wedge between the two? I like your thinking, Mr. Escabel. Alternately, we could find a compromise that involves all three of our countries. Yeah. Compromise that involves all three, but well, then what happens if Morella and their Valglandian friends get involved, eh? Then everybody wants a slice of pie. And that could lead to the kind of consequences I was warning you about earlier, Your Majesty. Lorenzo had a pained expression on his face. I still don't think we should give up on the possibility of negotiation. I know you and Duke Reinhardt don't have much of a rapport, but it might not be too late to come to an understanding. I want to crash his Grand Duchy to smithereens. But diplomacy is always the first step, so I will try. I will try to be diplomatic. Can only try. You know how much I respected your father, but with you, I see a chance for a new approach. Shall we discuss our diplomatic options? Are you leaning towards any particular outcome? Look, I'm not going to be greedy. 50-50 split, I'm happy with that. I mean, it's worth asking the question. Is there a way we can claim the entire field? Just out of curiosity, of course. Not without major diplomatic repercussions, I'm afraid. No matter which maritime boundaries you look at, it's clear that half of the field lies in Pelesian territory. The only way for Rizian oil and gas to access the entire field would be for us to purchase the exploration rights from Parley. Did I just say that money is going to be no option? No, money is going to be no option. No problem. No, we're going to be rolling in cash. Sell some more ships. Sell some more submarines. How much is it going to cost us? Let's try it. You know what? Parley, we're going to buy you out. It's probably going to be like 10. Probably like 10 budget or something really ludicrous. Oof, it's tempting. But we don't know how much they would ask for. And we're talking about an entire gas field here. This isn't going to be like 2 budget territory. This could be like 10 budget territory. It's a lot of ships to sell. Because just imagine, though, the energy that we get from it would be energy secure for the rest of our playthrough. But don't forget we've got the Swordland situation as well, so we don't really need to go that much. If we get a share in gas on, which we should be able to considering the decisions that we made, it's a bit metagamey again because we know what happened. We don't know that, do we? Really? We can't bank on that right now, can we? Because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I mean, we might be able to still bring that up when we speak with Duke Reinhardt anyway. I don't think we're locking into the decision here, are we? I don't think, anyway. But, well, no, we'll go for 50-50. And there's always Lesbia's too, so Lesbia might not be so interested in selling anyway, or pressuring Parley into selling. Oh, and there could be a bidding war with Lesbia. That's not going to go very well. Okay. 50-50 it is then. That's the minimum I'm taking. I'm not taking any less than 50%, so don't even go there, mate. That's what the boundary says. That's what I'm having. No less than 50%. So don't even try to convince me otherwise. Yes, that was the outcome I was hoping for before this incident, but it seems that without the aid of a third party, sharing the field will be more difficult than expected. What about Rumberg? Can't they help? Do you mean asking the Alliance of Nations to arbitrate the dispute? Correct, Your Majesty. AN arbitration is the typical path in disputes like these. Unfortunately, arbitration is an expensive and time-consuming process, and there's no guarantee it would end in our favour. With that said, it's definitely the safest way to avoid a diplomatic incident. We have Rumberg on our side. I'm sure Queen Beatrice would support us through the arbitration process, would she not? That's surely got to be a help. The weight of grace versus that of Lesbia and ATO, yeah, we would be evenly matched. Any other suggestions? Hugo cleared his throat. If I may, Your Majesty, we have still not decided what to do about the Pelesian drill ship. I don't like the idea of it being present in the gas field during our negotiations, but I don't see a way to stop it. Unless I'm missing a trick here? I do, Your Majesty. But my fellow councillors won't like it. She spoke slowly, as if thinking out loud. With His Majesty's blessing, the Rizian Navy could surround the field, preventing the drill ship from reaching its destination. Lorento looked up in outrage. Are you in your right mind, young lady? The Navy? We'd be escalating the situation. Young lady. Young lady. Yeah. A military response could indeed have disaster. We've just built a new port, which means we're going to get a lot of new ships. Our navy could be our strong suit. But no. We're not going to escalate the situation. Sorry, Duchess Zaro, but not a bad suggestion. And I did ask for other recommendations, but no. Tensions with Parley are high enough already. This could bring them to a boiling point. The Duchess is not talking about sinking the drilling ship, Mr. Esquibel. Lorento looked at her indignantly. A blockade could keep the field clear until His Majesty has had a chance to speak with Duke Reinhardt. If we do end up in an arbitration talks, Parley having an established presence in the Aureus field would give them an unwarranted edge. Okay, interesting point. Elena, interesting point. Might give them a bit more leverage in the negotiation stakes. Is there a risk of ATO retaliation? There may be Le Power executives on board the ship, but it is flying the Pelesian flag. Neither Lesbia nor ATO would be allowed to get involved. I too am wary of miring ourselves in another conflict. Yes, sending the Navy would help assert Rizian sovereignty, but are we strong enough to defend ourselves should the Pelesians call our bluff? That is a concern, Your Grace. We have a capable Navy, but we won't be able to outgun Parley if it comes down to that. This is not a decision to take lightly. Oh, wow. Wow, this is an important decision, Jesus. Right, so we Implications being really they could launch a full-scale naval attack on us, which we would be not able to defend. And that's really just about it. Versus not doing it and allowing that drilling ship to get into the gas field, and it gives them perhaps a bit more leverage when it comes to us speaking with this arbitration board. I don't think they're going to escalate to a full scale. We're going to stay to get myself a drink. And I'm going to come back up with my drink. And hopefully I'll have a clue as to what I'm going to do. This is a tough decision. Right. I'm back with my juice. I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but I woke up this morning and I thought I was talking a bit strange and food was getting stuck in my throat, so I thought, let me just check my tonsils and see. I've not got any throat pain. And obviously I had tonsillitis about just over a week ago when I came back off holiday and only got 4 days worth of antibiotics. Anyway, still enlarged and still covered in white spots. I was like, oh, for God's sake. So I took a really good photograph, sent it to the doctors. I was like, look at this. Bloody sort it. Anyway, I've now got 10 days worth of antibiotics to take. So perhaps I shouldn't even be doing this, sitting here talking in a game that requires a lot of reading, a lot of, should probably be giving my throat a rest. And you were probably all sat there watching me saying, well, yeah, you bloody should do. Are you crazy? Just sit and just don't talk. I talk at work, I've been playing football, I've been shouting at football, come home and more talking. No wonder my throat's not getting any better. I should just bloody sit and shut up. Anyway, I have made a decision, and the decision is we're going to blockade this. If they do take it to a full-scale escalation, then we'll have to deal with that when it happens. But I don't think we can sit idly by. We have half a stake in this, and they're not stupid. They will probably know that we have half a stake. They probably know this is underhanded, and and if we don't do anything, they'll think they've got us wrapped around the little fingers. So they would probably expect us to do something. So I wouldn't be surprised if I would be surprised rather if they were to escalate this fully, unless they were intentionally trying to provoke us, which Duke Reinhardt, when we first met him, didn't give me that impression. Now, I do wonder if our meeting with Duke Reinhardt in the prologue influences this kind of situation. If we'd have been more favourable with him and we blockaded, would that give us one outcome compared to if we were less favourable with him in the prologue and we do the blockade on top? Not sure. Maybe. But we understand the implications, but I fear we have no other choice. Naval blockade it is. I will not sit idly by whilst they try to rob me of half a colossal gas field. Lucita nodded. As you wish, Your Majesty. I'll make the order right away. This kind of puts us in a predicament now, because I was banking on selling my ships and selling my submarines for profit. But what if we need them now, because we're going to be in full-scale naval warfare? Lorento attempted to smile. Well, this will add a tense background to negotiations, to say the least, but I have faith it will all work out for the best. Well, we all hope so. That's the spirit, Lorento. I'm sure our ships will only be in place for a few days at most. I'll adjourn the meeting so Duchess Cesaro may begin preparations. We will inform you of the Navy's position prior to your departure for parley. Yes. I fully expect a peaceful resolution. This is just a precaution. No need to justify it, Your Majesty. This is your decision. I know it's my decision, and I am just outlining that I still expect a peaceful resolution. The meeting drew to a close. I spent a sleepless night in Fort Ailes wondering what would happen when the Rizian navy reached its destination. Oh boy, what's happening here? Aureus offshore gas field event available. Republic of Agnolia. They are neutral. Bad living standards. Oh dear. Oh, that's bad. Oh dear. How can we improve that in a hurry? Oh. Not good news. Ooh, Arcasia, Pyrrhic victory. Oh dear. Sounds like we're going to be tied up a little while. Huh. Right, in Zeal, Wayland has reduced travel access to the disputed Zeal region. Ooh. All in the name of security risk. Dirty and Golconda's community sheltering BFF. Okay. And in Fort Ailes, Navy deployed to Aureus gas field. By royal order, 6 ships from the Rizian Royal Navy have been deployed from the Fort Ailes harbour to the area around the Aureus gas field, which we have determined lies in both Rizian and Pelesian waters. The officers on board have been instructed to block any Pelesian vessels from entering the field, using Calcabids as a base to refuel and refresh their supplies. So, the Guild of Confederacy of Vendenizam requests support in uprising. This is probably a grace thing, right? Yeah, in a request for grace solidarity, Vendenizam turns to the Guild for assistance. Financial aid, some military equipment and some support vehicles. Yeah, that'll do. Show a little bit of willing. Royal decree. What does that? What's happened? Expand Fort Ailes naval base. Oh wow. Expand the Air Force base. Strengthen Pale's border fortification. Or Parley, rather. Okay. Tensions mounting. Solidarity. You never know. They may have to help return the favour. Oh. Right. We'll be about just shy of 50 minutes in, so the meeting with Duke Reinhardt will be our last meeting of the session. Very important meeting. It was my first visit to Parley since becoming King of Rizia. Titus and I stood side by side, peering out the window of Castle Reinhardt. The Grand Duchy's royal residence was built on the foundations of an ancient paleco, one of the stone fortifications that gave Parley its name. After his coronation, Duke Axel Reinhardt had hired an up-and-coming local architect to expand the old building into a swooping, bulging wooden glass structure that seemed almost alive. The reception room had been moved to the top floor and boasted enormous curved windows with a view of the Parley skyline. Its soaring, angular skyscrapers were unlike anything built in Rizia. So, this is the Pearl of the Antiseum. You sound unimpressed, Captain. I'm a simple man, sir. Give me the classicism of Pallas Resna over whatever this is. Titus glanced around us. We've been making little headway with the Suzerain investigation, by the way. Your cousin's associates have been less than cooperative. Even if they're innocent in the Valen bombing, I suspect they still have something to hide. Okay, and what about the other investigation I ordered? Still in the works, sir. It's too sensitive to assign to anyone else, so I'll have to pick it back up once we have a significant time in the capital. A panel in the wall slid open, and a secretary clad in a pastel mini-dress emerged. She motioned for me to enter. Into the breach. Make yourself comfortable. This might be a while. Will do, sir. The secretary announced my entrance. I stepped into the room and was greeted by Duke Reinhardt. The Polesian ruler hadn't aged a day since we last met. He was tall, square-jawed, with looks out of an adventure serial. I recall that the tabloids had nicknamed him Duke Dashing. He maintained eye contact as he bowed to me. Your Majesty, we meet again. Bow. Bow? I only wish it was under better circumstances, Your Grace. As do I. The secretary left, closing the door behind her. The Duke and I took seats on opposite sides of a wooden conference table. His posture was casual, even as he regarded me with intensity. I'll be honest with you, Your Majesty. I never expected my brother to abdicate. I was perfectly happy living a life of leisure, coasting off the family fortune, enjoying the odd celebrity rendezvous. Wait, which celebrities? You didn't have to take his place. Oh, but I did. Somebody had to step up to protect the Grand Duchy. He sighed and slid a report across the table towards me. My security minister woke me up at midnight with this. I was assured that Parley had every right to begin drilling in the Aureus gas field, and now our ship finds itself in a standoff with the Rizia Navy. Tell me, Your Majesty, what is the meaning of this? Why did you send that ship to begin with? Why not notify my government? You haven't exactly listened to my government's wishes in the past. Sending that ship was our way of asserting Polesian sovereignty. Okay. No. We respect your sovereignty. Does it mean you can steal our gas from us, though? It is disrespectful to claim that the sovereignty of our nation, however young, is equal to that of a neglected speck of a Rizian island. I saw intensity in his eyes. You know, Your Majesty, we Reinhardts have ruled Parley for as long as the Tauruses have ruled Rizia. Yes, Parley was part of the Valgos Empire, but we developed our own laws and customs, even our own language. When the Empire fell apart, what were we supposed to do? Simply give up everything we had built? Parley could have kept its cultural identity intact if it had rejoined Rizia. Your father would never have allowed that. And even if he had, my family never would have agreed. They had too much pride. So they accepted help from Lesbia, the only country willing to support our independence. Ooh, interesting. I don't think I'd go that far. I mean, I do want to try to get, obviously, this 50-50 agreement in place, but I don't want to be sucking up to the man, you know, too much. So we'll go down this route instead. They supported your independence by making you dependent on them. By making us wealthy. By giving us the capacity to defend ourselves against aggressors like you. I understand why you accepted Lespia's aid, I do. But now that Morella is in league with Vargsland, you could get caught between superpowers. His gaze hardened as he looked at me. Not as long as we have a bargaining chip, and we do, right at the bottom of the Antician. So you see, Your Majesty, we can't let Rizia take it from us, not without a fight. It's interesting for us to tell somebody else to calm down. I mean, we haven't flown off the handle that many times that I can tell. Have we ever flown off the handle? Not really. I think we're calm and measured. We might have a slight tongue lashing to give a person or two, but you know, calm down. Almost like kind of patronising. There. Calm yourself, boy. We have no intention of starting a fight. Then prove it. Send your ships back. I will. When you send your ship back. Childish. No, you don't. No, you. No. I will not withdraw Parley's presence from the field as long as the Rizian Navy is there. Oh, we're at a standoff then, aren't we? I am asking you politely. Withdraw your navy and we will talk. Ooh, interesting. Now, I would be quite interested. I would be... Oh, I don't know. I'm saying I would be quite inclined to do this, to put this man to the test. Is he a man of his word? Would we get a second chance to cash in if he turns out to not stick to his word? I kind of feel like, you know what, I'll be the bigger man. I'll withdraw my navy on the promise that you're going to remove your ship too, and if you don't, then more fool you. Because what we're going to do about it, realistically. But can we trust him? I'm gonna put the man to the test. Is he a man of his word? I will remove my ships. You remove your ships, and we start talking. Ooh, a shaky sigh of relief. Interesting. Okay. Thank you. Unfortunately, our options for the Aureus field are still limited. Lespia is on the verge of purchasing the exploration rights to the field, yet you obviously are not willing to cede it to us. So the only choice I see is to take this to the Alliance of Nations for arbitration. Same conclusion that we came to. Let's arbitrate away. And they'll easily rule that Parley acted in direct violation of an AN directive on offshore resources. Let's see how well briefed he is. We know it might not strictly be true, because we were told that by our counsellors. But let's just test him, test the waters here. Oh, damn. Okay, fine. Never ratified it. I never read it. Okay, just testing you. Just testing you. And even if it applies, Andor is not black and white. It's very nuanced. We have the support of the international community, mate, do we? Don't think we're going to fall for that one. Even our council said it was shifting. It's only nuance compared to its predecessors. It doesn't stand alone as a brilliant piece of legislation. It's nuanced enough that I believe Parley will get the benefit of the doubt, especially with international help. You might be forgetting. I don't think he is forgetting, though. This is the trouble. He still sounds quite confident. I don't think that's going to... He's not going to... Why not? Lest we have come to their aid before. We're going to have to go down this line. You're forgetting the support we have from Rumberg and Grace. We do not stand alone ourselves here. This is a 20th century, Majesty. Dying monarchies don't have as much clout as they used to. I'm telling you, if you cede the gas field to us without argument, you'll be able to avoid a long and costly process. Keep it if you like. No. I'm afraid I'm not backing down on this one. We will have to enter arbitration. And hey, we're a rich country, so costly as it may be, costly it will have to be. Reasonable swine. The Duke gritted his teeth. And since you couldn't offer me anything, you must understand that I cannot call back our navy. It will stay at the field until the arbitration is through. I think that's reasonable, don't you? Is that us going back on our word a little bit? Maybe, but you know what? Up yours. His jaw twitched. That's a big mistake. Oh, maybe it was a big mistake. I don't know about the hell. Do you know what? So be it, Your Majesty. He reached under his desk and pressed an intercom button. Oh, what have we done? Oh dear. Hilda, be a doll and help show His Majesty the way out of the building. Wouldn't want him getting lost. He sat back in his chair and scrutinized me closely. I should warn you that you are going to lose. Badly. That's an unbefitting attitude. I feel patronising him. All I want is to keep the peace between our countries. Hey? What can I say? It's you that are being the unreasonable one here. I want that as well, but I'm just stating the facts. Ukraine's secretary opened the door, he stood up and gestured for me to do the same. Until next time, King Romus. I rejoined Titus in the reception room. We followed Hilda through winding corridors to the front door. We stepped outside into the waning sunlight. He waited until we were out of the building's shadow to speak. How did it go, Your Majesty? That Duke is a snake, but I can still get the upper hand on him. I hope. Titus nodded wordlessly. We got into the car and began the long trip back to Port Drazen. Oof. Oof, 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 oof. I don't know. I'm not convinced. The arbitration procedure is in effect. Oh dear. Geopolitical news. Okay. Missiles. Very good. So what have we got here? Attend House of Delegates session. Call with Prime Minister Alvarez of Lesbia? Interesting. Right, this one's a quick one. Lambert proposal regarding rights of workers. Oh no. This is the fact. Oh, the whole. Oh, maybe we should send our Grand Vizier because we're not going to be able to agree to any of these. Oh, that's not going to look good, is it? But I don't want to be seen to be dodging this fella. So I want to look him in the eye when I say no. Yeah. We'll attend. We'll attend. Right, there you go. That's it for this session. My dinner's ready and my throat is beginning to get a little bit sore. So next time we start with a call with the Prime Minister of Lesbia. I wonder what that can be all about. Have a good one, folks, and until next time, I'll see you soon.